Are you ready to fly? So, earlier today I watched the Elvis biopic directed by Baz Luhrmann of Moulin Rouge fame, which also stars Austin Butler in the title role and Tom Hanks as the infamous Colonel Parker. And I gotta say, even with how long I've been trying to make this movie, it did manage to exceed my expectations, and even knowing Wayne the man and his life. But all the same, Baz still managed to not only use his signature style to capture the feeling of large life persona, so let's get started. The film takes place in something of a nonlinear narrative, which is not even the first time Baz has done this. If you've seen Moulin Rouge or his version of Great Gatsby, you definitely should pick up some of these ones. A lot of his other ones for his filmography have this kind of bombastic feeling to them, and a lot of techniques that are more common music videos and film, and naturally, both he as well as the editors and cinematographer working on this have also had backwards music videos, so you should definitely have something what to expect. If you're not into this sort of filmmaking, you need not apply, and if you are, you know exactly what you're in for. Yeah. What really makes it work for me and others is Austin Butler's performance in the title role. While apparently he was mostly known for his TV performances, and he had some bit parts on film, to my knowledge, but nothing of this scale before. Nevertheless, he managed to really be something of a chameleonic presence over the three major decades of the King's illustrious career, from his breaking out in the 50s to his filmmaking in the 60s to even his final days before he passed in the 70s. And yes, I would definitely say that not only are finding himself at this Pentecostal mission, along with the hayride sequence, are standouts. It's way more than you see in the advertising, so they verify that. As for Tom Hanks as Colonel Tom Parker, the infamous promoter, who both in and out of the story is participant and antagonistic figure. The film opens on him being rushed to the hospital himself in later years of his life. Personally, a lot of people giving him heat, but I didn't think his performance was that bad. I will admit, between the makeup and the Dutch accent he's putting on, it did give me some flashbacks to Goldmember, and he thankfully does not eat any of his dead skin. I can definitely say that much. Nevertheless, it is kind of interesting seeing him play against type. He's normally the personification of likability and goodwill, and playing someone so smarmy and infamous in music history, he actually works alarmingly well. I'm inclined to also tread a bit lightly, given how this was a movie he was making when, everything happened and he got sick during that, along with his wife Rita Wilson. And I was just glad he was okay after that. That was one of the multiple factors that told me how serious this everything was. It was a couple years back, so there's that. I'm putting Butler on my shortlist for potential awards nominations, but one thing I'll also add to my list is the production itself, and the makeup and hairstyling, the costumes, the set design. The film cost about $85 million, and you see every bit of that money on the screen. Since not only recreating a lot of past time periods, like in Graceland and Vegas, and naturally all these things were filmed in Australia, where Baz is native, the whole idea of depicting a part of what no longer exists and presenting a story that never existed like this before. The presentation really sells it, and I'm definitely a man that can understand the difference between going for accuracy and going for entertainment, and this is definitely the latter. I mean, if you've, like I said, if you've seen other their works, the misdirector, you have decided what to expect. I mean, heck, one of my favorite films from him is his version of Romeo and Juliet, where they kept the original text the same, but they set at the story in then contemporary times, with the Montagues and Capulets essentially being warring game families as opposed to just like the different class of nobility and class they were in the original text as well. So it is definitely workable. And I will especially say that the denouement is what really raised my perception of the film. For me, being like a formulaic biopic to just showing how committed everyone is to telling the story of such a larger than life figure. Yeah. So, I would definitely give this at the very least a 4 out of 5, 4.5 out of 5. It's not a perfect film, I'll admit. I mean, it's really going to depend on your tolerance for Baz's overblown style, but as someone who has enjoyed previous works of his to varying degrees, I definitely can say I enjoyed the 160 minutes I spent with this picture, and even though there's no Nintendo Direct yet, I definitely will. I reaffirm that we'll be talking about it if and when one does take place this month. The main, and also especially with Splatoon 3 dropping next week, and also I might be taking a day off on Monday to reflect. I might not. We shall see. And I will talk to God again later. The captain has left the building.